It is the perfect time to free yourself from the burden, the trauma, and whatever pain and disturbances are in your life. It is time to heal. And I feel like a lot of people talk about healing. A lot of people talk about focusing on themselves, but they don't really tell you how. They don't really go into deep detail or give personal experience. So I want to offer that. And I've been doing some pondering on it, thinking, and to me, healing really starts with two things, in my opinion. It looks different, but healing starts with forgiveness and understanding. And I think that's why a lot of people be stuck up on things, because we don't forgive ourselves, we don't forgive the people that wronged us, and we don't understand what we went through. We don't understand why we had to go through something, and we don't understand what we're supposed to learn from it, right? So, forgiveness, we'll start there. You have to forgive yourself, first and foremost. Forgiveness is not some get out of jail free card. It's not let's let this person off the hook. You acknowledge what they did to you, but you forgive them to free you from the burden. Because think about it, somebody wronged you, but you have to hold on to all that energy, all that pain, all that sorrow of what somebody did to you. It's like being cut. And then you just like, you know what? You keep acknowledging the cut. You cut me. You cut me. You cut me. And it starts to heal and you rip it back open. You cut me. You cut me. You cut me. Now you're starting to destroy yourself. They cut you. You stitch it up. You bandage it up. Tend to it. Right? I forgive you. Release yourself from that burden. Release yourself from that wound. It's not your identity. And you can't make it that way. And that person is not perfect. They messed up, but you will mess up too in your life, and you will want the same forgiveness. That doesn't mean what they did was not wrong, right? By all means, that's not what I mean. But you have to forgive them to free yourself and stop letting your wounded nature be your identity, because it's not who you are. Victim or victor, which one do you choose? Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. You take what you've been through, you learn from it, and that's when you grow. I love my people. I love the people that take care of me. I love the people that check up on me. I appreciate them. But the people who have wronged me, I may appreciate them even more, because they taught me so much more. They taught me so much more. They don't mean more. You know what I'm saying? The people who are my people, they are my people. I would do anything for them. But that appreciation, that gratitude I have for the people that have wronged me, because they have taught me so much. And with that knowledge, I can treat the people that I love even better. I can care for them even better. I can be better for them and myself. So I forgive them. You should forgive them. You should forgive you. What happened to you was not your fault. Somebody else made a set of decisions. We have accountability, right? You take accountability for the things you've done and the situations you put yourself in. But it's not your fault. You didn't deserve the cards you were dealt. Sometimes we do, right? But that is okay. You pick up, you move on, and you learn from it. And I think a lot of people underestimate the power of talking to somebody to help you reach that further level of understanding. I think we underestimate how powerful it is to actually express ourselves and get these thoughts out of our head, so we can see that we aren't alone in this world. It's easy to feel alone. It's easy to feel like you're the only one going through something. But if you're willing to socialize, if you're willing to talk, if you're willing to be a little vulnerable with people, have some discernment, you will find somebody next to you, right before you, right behind you, that is going through the exact same thing, or that has went through it and probably feels the same way you do, and probably feels alone. You don't know that, right? Unless you try, unless you talk to people, unless you put yourself out there. And when you talk to people, it's almost like cooking. When you think about a cake, for example, you got your eggs, right? You got your cake batter. You got all these things, your butter. And it's like, okay, when you look at all these things, it don't look like a cake. But when you start mixing all these things together and then you pop it in the oven, now you have this beautiful cake. That's how it is when you talk to people. That's how it is when you go to therapy and you seek help. You come out there with all this yarn, and this yarn is all over the place. And the therapist is just rolling up into nice little neat little balls of yarn, right? Baking that cake, taking all them ingredients, and it's like a science project, but it comes out to be a beautiful cake. That's what happens to you when you express yourself, when you put yourself out there. You're allowing yourself to be corrected, to be pushed in a nice little form. But the thing is, The person that helps you do that, they probably don't have it together either. Therapists, they are some of the most loony people there is. A lot of people look up to me and think I'm this perfect person that has it all figured out. I don't. I just listen a lot. I try to apply every lesson that I've learned to all aspects of my life, every situation. There's only a select few lessons that we have in this life, and they apply all over life, and that's how I live my life. But I'm still lost at times. I still feel lonely. I still have healing to do. And I need to do better at talking to people. And with that being said, I want to give a special appreciation and thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video and giving me the opportunity to speak to people, because it's something that I've been avoiding for a long time. So, if you don't know, BetterHelp makes it easier for you to connect with therapists and help you find someone to talk to and help you with your issues in life. There is a lot going on, and it's very easy to feel overwhelmed. The new year has just set in. There's a lot of expectations, maybe external, internal. Me personally, I can maybe have the tendency of not talking to people and keeping things to myself. Or you may get in the habit of comparing yourself to other people and feeling stuck behind in life or feeling lonely. There is somebody that can help you with that. And with BetterHelp being fully online, it makes it a lot more comfortable and a lot more convenient for you. To me, there's no right or wrong way to live life. I think there's simply confusion and clarity, and a therapist can help provide clarity. A therapist can help you untangle those external pressures from internal values, because a lot of the issues, a lot of the stress and anxiety we have, that's not our anxiety, that's something somebody else has put on us. There is somebody that can help you form a more personalized timeline and set of goals that is authentic to you and not something that society tells you to do, not something your parents are telling you to do. This is authentic and for you, a connection for you. Once you fill out a questionnaire, you will be matched with a therapist within a couple of days. And one of my favorite things about this entire journey is that you will develop the tools necessary to measure your own progress on your own terms. It's not about anybody else. It's about you. And if you ever feel like your therapist is not a perfect match for you, you can always switch with no extra cost. And there's over 30,000 professionals with different backgrounds and specialties, so you're bound to find somebody that can help you, and that will make a great fit for you. So I say all that to say, my good people, start fresh any day with BetterHelp. Click the link in my description or click my custom link, which will be up on the screen, https://betterhelp.com/Shimon, and you'll get 10% off on your first month of therapy. It's just a deal you can't beat. So, thank you, and I'm out. And in all seriousness, beyond this whole video, beyond this whole concept, I really and truly do hope that you consider talking to people and understand the true benefit of doing so. What's coming across my mind right now is something that's very simple. But whenever I'm going through something, whenever my mind is too heavy and I feel myself overthinking, there's about one or two people that I can call that I know can sort me out in a way. It's like a no judgment type of zone. It's just one of those things. And every time I finish doing that, talking to that friend, talking to that person, I feel 1,000 times better. And I realize that most of the things that I worry about in those moments are things that never happened or things that have already happened and they're long gone. It's not in the now. It's things that I'm making up. It's things that I'm anxious about. It's things that I'm stuck on that aren't in the now. And when you understand that your life is not about what has happened to you, but how you respond, your life will get better. As I mentioned earlier in this video, your life is not happening to you, it is happening for you, and you have to do what you can to make the most out of this life. You can't harp on what has already happened. You got to move past it. You have to let go, okay? But one of the ways in which you can move forward with your life, learn to let go of things, learn to move forward with things, is to truly be like a child. Now, I know a lot of us, our childhoods may have been ripped away, maybe our innocence has been stolen at a very young age, but one thing about children that I think anybody can understand is that a child in its true essence is very creative, is very curious, it loves to explore, and is willing to try just about anything. Even when scared, even when frightened, there's just this adventurous nature about a child. And I think you have to channel that to heal yourself. As I mentioned in some videos earlier in my YouTube body of work, one of the things that healed me was getting back into tree climbing as I did when I was a child. And it's just something about tree climbing that heals me now. Being outside, grounded, taking your shoes off and playing in the grass. If you got a grass allergy, find something else. But just being a child again, being expressive, saying what you mean, not holding back, asking questions, being active, being social, learning to do things, forming new hobbies. I've been playing a lot of guitar lately, and I just got back from a trip, and I was away from my guitars for a week, and it felt miserable. Now, I did have a guitar to fiddle around with, and if I'm away from my guitars and the things that I love, I'll go to a music store from out of town or something like that to play, but I've just brought back this childlike essence in my life. And even though I'm still healing and still going through stuff, I can definitely notice the difference in my life from doing so. Because straight out of high school, I injured my hip, and I had been playing football since I was about 3 or 4. So once I hurt my hip, I was facing this question, would I ever play football again? And I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where my identity was outside of football. So I started to question myself. I started to become less confident and insecure and things like that. And I got back to myself, eventually. But during that time, that made me, I go to work, and all I really cared about was money at the time. I just wanted to make money. All I wanted to do was go to work and make more money. And I didn't really do anything outside of that. My life was dull. And it was like I was growing old and bitter way too fast. And then I stopped one day. I'm like, bro, this is not it. But I didn't realize that until I went through great pain. I had to go through it. I had to learn. I had to have something to reference from. So I try to encourage people to let go, because when you go through things that are tough, when you deal with things that you don't like, when you deal with people that have wronged you, and you're in situations that you don't like, it teaches you the most. It teaches you what you don't like. It teaches you what you're not willing to put up with. It teaches you how to navigate these situations that you don't necessarily care for. But if you had everything that you wanted all the time in your life, you wouldn't know how to navigate these certain hardships. And then finally, when you were hit with them, it would knock your screws loose. So be like a child. Fall, get back up, scrape your knee, cry about it for a little bit, get those emotions out, be expressive, but get back up and get back on the playground and get back to having fun. Get back to being a child. That doesn't mean lay around and eat potato chips and have no responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Things got to still move around, but learn how to treat yourself like a child. If you have a child, how do you treat your child? I hope well. Start treating your inner self like that. Protect your inner child. Protect yourself. Learn to have fun. Treat yourself well. Forgive yourself, and let's move forward. And also understand, my people, if there's something that you feel like you've lost, if there's a person you feel like you lost, if there's a scenario, situation, opportunity that you felt like you've lost, I promise you, if it is meant for you, it will come back. If it was meant for you to lose, it was meant for you to lose. I was headed to New York a few days ago. Stopped to get some gas, and I stopped to get some cup noodles, and maybe spent about an extra 2 minutes in the store. But once I got further down the highway, a few car lengths ahead, maybe a mile or so, this idiot is driving down the road, hits and run, causes a 7-car collision. There's no doubt in my mind, if I didn't stop and get those cup noodles from that store, that I wouldn't have been in that accident. I also almost left my laptop in New York City. I stay in Louisiana, by the way. But I couldn't decide what I wanted to eat, and that took about an hour and a half. And before I could leave the city. I got a call and was like, hey, yo, you left your laptop over here. I was already headed out the city. But it'd be the timing of things. It'd be the energy behind the timing. And I sat there and think, and at first I'm like, man, I hate to be that burden. You know, we got to go back here. But I'm like, man, you know what? It was meant to happen. It was meant to happen. To make me more responsible, to make me double check more things, to stop being comfortable. But it just wasn't meant for me to lose my laptop, and it was not meant for me to be in that crash. And those things may seem small to people, but it's not, because those scenarios are the scenarios that I learn from and apply to my life everywhere. If it's meant for me, it's meant for me. And if it's meant for me and it leaves, it'll come back. But if it doesn't, I will be okay. And I believe that with no doubt at all, and that's why I will be okay. But in the time leading up to that, I am preparing myself to receive whatever it is that I want. Person, place, or thing. Opportunity, whatever it is, I am preparing myself to receive those things. I am preparing myself mentally, physically, spiritually, to be okay no matter what happens. And when you move like that, when you embody that mindset, I guarantee your life will change. But the key is, if it's meant for you, and if you believe. If you don't believe, it's not going to happen. Whatever you put the most energy into, it will manifest itself. So, all I'm going to leave you with is be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you say. Be careful what things you speak power into and life into. Because it's your life. You have much more power than you realize. So, use it wisely. And that's going to be my spiel for today. That's going to be my yap. I am glad to be home. And, yeah, y'all take it easy, man. I love y'all. Missed y'all. And if you're new, subscribe. If you're not, subscribe and like anyway. And check out the vlog channel. We got some more vlogs coming. This vlog to New York, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. It's going to be up there pretty soon. So, appreciate y'all. It's simply Shimon. Link in the bio. You'll find it, whatever. I love y'all. Y'all take care.